A hero. Someone who puts their life on the line to save others. Someone who is willing to risk everything to protect people they don't even know. A symbol of peace and a light of hope. That is the man Ling Ling wants to be. tbhx. Y'all would not shut up about this show. And after watching it, I can see why. This junk is fire. And honestly, it might be my favorite for anime of the year. But let me give you a little backstory on this show. This donghua uses both 3D and 2D in its animation, which goes stupid hard. And in these 24 episodes, it goes over all the top 10 heroes, as you can see here. And each story is somewhat intertwined with the other heroes. Now, with that out of the way, let's start with our first hero, and my favorite, Ling Ling. Ling Ling is your average guy, but that doesn't stop him from wanting to be a hero. He even made an inspiring commercial called tbhx, in which normal people like him can become heroes like Noahsxz, aka the white-haired guy over here. Unfortunately, his boss did not see it that way, and he proceeded to diss him and his entire bloodline for the mere thought of wanting to be a hero, acting like he committed a crime or something. So Ling Ling's out here feeling bad for himself, getting angry at the commercials he created, and even giving the Chinese middle finger to Noahsxz. When wait a minute, Noahsxz himself pulls up on him? Look at the aura farming, bro. He had the doves out and everything. This is perfect. Noahsxz can give him some words of wisdom, maybe put him on the right track, and what are you doing? Oh my god, he just killed himself. Noahsxz's team pulls up, including his manager, Mrs. J, and they literally kidnapped Ling Ling. And I swear they were about to backdoor this man until Miss J realized that Ling Ling low-key looks like Noahsxz. And literally the next week, he was in Noahsxz's place, getting ready to do a meet and greet. Nah, they did his ass dirty. They faked Ling Ling's death. And to make it even worse, the article talking about it had one single view. I'd be damned if I die and only one person read about it. Y'all better have long live Noahsxz in your bio whenever I go. I feel bad for Noahsxz as well. Jumped off a building and not a single soul cared. Crazy. But anyway, Ling Ling, or Noahsxz now, goes out there and he got all the hoes flocking. Noahsxz was a total hit with the ladies. We also learned that the way people get stronger in this universe is through trust, which in all actuality will be broken as hell in real life. Can you imagine what people like LeBron or Messi or like CR7 could do with this? K-pop idols will become national level threats. Even a YouTuber like me could scrounge up a superpower or two.
Fuck you. You just got pranked, bro.
Knowing how you guys treat me though, I know my superpower would be some BS. Y'all would probably give me a fryer and a couple McDonald's bags and call me Mr. Put the Fries in the Bag Man. My catchphrase would be, Young Midoriya, you too can be a fry cook. Currently, Noahsxz is number 15, but as his trust goes up, Ling Ling's rank and himself will change. The more trust he gets, the closer he becomes to being Noahsxz. And even better, he gets to be with Noahsxz's girlfriend, Moon, who is actually Ling Ling's crush. And I don't even blame him, bro. Moon is so bad. He got me feeling different too. Bro was low-key cooking too. Peep the spin move into the extended hand. And Ling Ling might be the perfect person to be Noahsxz, bro. Peep this. Noahsxz and Moon ended up going on a love game show called True Love. And I know for a fact that this game show has ended a few relationships. But anyway, our couple had the unfortunate luck of having Enlighter as their host. This dude is a D1 hater. He hates Noahsxz with his entire soul.
Like, what do you say fuck me for?
Imagine my hate for Megami, multiply it by 10, and then you got this guy. Bro was trying his best to make bro look bad, asking questions like, how many commercials has your girl starred in, and their runtime? Nigga, that's a question she probably don't even know. But Ling Ling answered that question with ease. Remember, he's the one who was making these commercials. But either way, that's still insane work. Bro then brought out the lie detector and started asking if they were really dating. And this dude Ling Ling was so locked in, he said, Moon isn't my girlfriend. She's more than that. She's my goddess. Damn! Bro is genuinely head over heels for her. But this dude was not done. Enlighter then brought out Ling Ling's boss. Turns out that one view on the article was actually Enlighter. Dude did his research. Apparently after Ling Ling's death, Noahsxz's team canceled their contract. Tough luck, little bro. They should have listened to Ling Goat. He didn't even care about that show. Booted Enlighter across the set and went straight to attack Noahsxz. Boss man started going crazy. And with this, we learned that trust isn't the only way to get stronger. Its antithesis, fear, is another. And just like trust, it uses other people's fear to make yourself stronger. And your own. But Noahsxz is putting that belt to ass. Wall jump into the weave. Quick backflip into the dodge, weave the whip, then he stepped on bro's face. Weave up top, got down low, weave. This dude moves so elegant. Then he came in with a nasty roundhouse. Kicked bro so hard, he was able to do a pose out the fadeaway. Then when Boss Man came back in, bro smacked him to the ground like he was a toddler while posing up in front of millions of viewers too. This was a nasty work. Boss Man wasn't going down like that though. His power allows him to harness fear through termination letters. and it was looking grim. Bro started slamming out the entire audience. Then when Nice came back in with a kick, bro ate that shit. Bro tried doubling down with the doormat treatment, but that shit ain't work either. Lin Ling was starting to get cooked. He didn't know if he could do this for real. But in the end, he chose to believe that he could do it, that he would be able to become a hero and protect those who needed his help. And with Moon cheering him on, he came in with that serious punch and absolutely decimated that fraudulent boss man. Oh yeah. But now that that's all over, it really has me wondering, is being a hero so good? Is the trust system all that valid? When Miss J leads Lin Ling to his new home, she basically tells him that what happened to Nice could easily happen to him in the future, and he's gonna have to make a choice. And whatever happens, happens. She said this so nonchalantly too, like this shit happens every other day, but we'll figure out what she meant later. For now, Lin Ling has made it to the Hero Tower, a home for all the heroes. It's basically like Heaven's Arena in Hunter x Hunter. The higher your rank is, the higher you live on the tower. And Lin Ling took the words out of my mouth when I saw this place.
Damn, this place is massive.
That damn came from the bottom of his heart. Bro must have been hella tired too, didn't take a shower or even change. He hopped straight into bed. And is that Moon? Goodness gracious, she got a whole bakery back there. Nice had this view every night and he still offed himself. I would take on the whole world if I knew I was coming home to this every evening. Jesus. Lin Ling's a gentleman though, so he went to find somewhere else to sleep. But when he looked back at Moon, he found out that she was dead. Already? On episode 1? I just got here. Turns out, it was actually just a dream, but I can't help but feel some ominous foreshadowing from that. Anyway, let's talk about Moon. Before meeting Nice, she was a travel blogger and a sort of niche hero, which honestly seems like the best way to go in this world. Not too popular, but enough where you got a cool power, you know what I'm saying? It was through her job that she ended up meeting Nice. When he saved her life all epic and stuff. Gotta love how the art style keeps changing in this show, it's so fresh. But here's the thing, Moon doesn't actually like Nice. In fact, she doesn't like any of this BS, but she has no choice. Not only do she and Nice need to be together, they're about to take it a step further and get married. Now, you'd think that she'd be happier, you know, being with the man who saved her life. Lord knows Ling Ling was happy about this, but she's not. Because at the end of the day, none of this is actually real. She's only with Nice because of her contract. Mrs. J even locked both of them in Hero Tower until Moon would agree to the marriage. Lin Ling was having the time of his life though. Moon thought that taking out the costume and showing the real her would make Lin Ling like her less, but as it always does, it made him like her more.
I love the kind of woman that will actually just kill me.
And throughout the time they spent together, they actually started a bond, relate to each other and their struggles. Moon's entire character, her travel blog, her meeting Nice, it was all fabricated just to become Nice's accessory. His +1. That cool teleportation power that she once had is now morphed into a contraption that can only lead to Nice. How is she ever supposed to truly love him if it was all for work? But Lin Ling is different. He truly does love Moon and genuinely wants the best for her. So they were able to devise a plan to help her escape. On the day of their wedding, everything was going smooth until Nice's arch nemesis, Wreck, intervened. Nigga pulled up saying some, I object. Like damn bruh, not so fast, not a stop right here. It's almost like he wants to get married to Nice himself. Then he started talking about some, if I can't have you, no one can. And I was like, okay, calm down brother. Slow your roll real quick. Bro wasn't even trying to attack Moon. Just went straight for Nice. Said fuck the script, we're talking right here and now. Turned the wedding into a whole Smash Bros arena. And this is how I knew that Nice and Wrecked were locked in. Well, a little more than locked in to be honest. Because even though everyone else besides his girl didn't notice, his homeboy knew right away that Lin Ling was not nice. Oh, why did he body Moon like that? But once Wreck heard that Nice committed suicide, he crashed out. In his backstory, we find out that these two were day ones. They both wanted to become heroes, but in the end, Wreck was supposed to be his best friend's nemesis, which didn't even matter to him because all he wanted was to be with Nice. But then things changed. He stopped appearing in Nice's fights, then Nice stopped talking to him completely. And now he finds out that he lost his best friend. The reasoning behind Nice's disappearance on him is actually quite sad, but we'll get to that later. And I don't even blame Wreck for being mad for real. Crashed out so hard, he done changed the animation. But now, it's time for the squabbles to commence. Nice pulls up, weaves the rubble in the rocks, Moon helps block the debris, picks her up, and they pull up to jump. Slow it down real quick. Peep how Nice gotta be dodging for his life, while his girl Moon is taking a light jog. They pull up, Moon strikes first, Wreck weaves the kick, damn that ass fat. She gets knocked off but teleports onto the sword. She weaves away, brings in Nice, evades the sword, gets evaded on the retaliation, then disappears with Nice coming into the frame with that knee. Rek blocks, weaves the roundhouse. Moon comes back in with a wrist block on the sword. Another block against the straight, gets flung but she recovers. Nice comes back in with a block, evades the sword, and it kills me because every time Moon comes in, Rek always ignores her. You would think that this was his wedding. He flings Nice away, but Moon's on that, teleports him in, and he strikes back with that knee into the kick combo. And this man Rek was so done, bro. Peep his face. Nigga fighting on pure rage right now. Popped the ult, but it was no use. These two been Weed Nation certified, and now it's time to call game. Moon sets up Nice for that oop, and he sidesteps that blade and hits the finisher. But even when getting hit, Rek knew in his heart that this imposter was not Nice. With tears in his eyes, he falls to his demise. Damn, that was a bar. And with that, Moon was able to be released as well, taking her death and finally being freed from Nice's shadow. And I know her death wasn't real, but damn, Lin Ling's tears made me feel something. Even Miss J should have teared, bro. Moon is low-key dumb though, because instead of moving somewhere nice or like changing her identity, this woman left to a deserted island and decided not to bring her power with her.
Women.
Crazy work, but whatever. Now that Moon is gone, Ling Ling settles into his role as Nice. It's kind of scary how similar they are now. Even the little things, like him moving his cup to the perfect spot, show how much he's turning into Nice. Nice's next goal is getting into the top 10. The number 10 spot is currently held by Furman. He became a hero after saving a little girl from falling debris and earned the name Furman for standing tall through it all. He became a top 10 hero after giving Esol's arch nemesis the reverse A-train treatment. Imagine getting your chain snatched by a nigga who's just crossing the street. But Furman's story shows us once again how perceptions of these heroes can affect them. With Moon, it wasn't as bad because her power was the only thing that was affected, but Furman had it rough. Bro literally had to stay standing no matter what. In the actual nightmare scenario, these heroes seem so free and powerful, but what's the point of being a hero if you can't even wipe your own ass after taking a shit? And funny enough, the person to save Furman was his own arch nemesis, Wolf Girl. Wolf Girl used to spread what was seen as propaganda against him, when in reality, she was the girl who was saved by him in that fire. She knew what Furman was going through and didn't want him to suffer anymore. So she blew up the statue that the Heroes Commission made for him. Furman didn't want to let it fall because of what it stood for. His own image, the trust system, heroes as a whole. But after seeing the girl's face, he remembered why he became a hero in the first place, and he was finally able to rest. Shout out to Wolf Girl for real. She knew who her hero really was, and for that, I gotta applaud her for it. Sure, she got a couple screws loose because she blew up an entire town, but hey, who cares, bruh? Shout out to Nice as well. Carrying that big ass statue couldn't have been easy. And on top of that, he has finally made it into the top 10. But with top 10 status comes even harder challenges. And the first is Enlighter. This dude is actually insane. He reminds me that I'm not hitting to my fullest potential. Not only did this guy figure out that Lin Ling was Nice after rewatching his interview, he found out where Moon was, stole her, and blackmailed Nice into saving her. How he found Moon, I don't know. He built different. But now we're at a crossroads. Nice has two options. Go save Moon and ruin everything he's built so far, or let her die. Problem is, while Lin Ling wants to go save her, Nice's fans wouldn't let him leave the tower. He is forced to stay. But while Miss J was trying to turn off that broadcast, they ended up turning on the ad that Lin Ling made for Nice, reminding him of what he stood for. And after that, there was no question of what he wanted to do. He shook off that Nice persona and immediately went to save his girl, because at the end of the day, he never wanted to be Nice. He wanted to be a real hero. How he pulled up to the top of the building, I don't know, but he was moving different. I have never seen him walk like this in his life. Bro was trying to tell his life story, but Enlighter was not hearing it. He started putting the pause on this man. I never see a nigga hit no combos like this with some droids. He was doing bro the worst. But when it was crunch time, when Moon needed him the most, Lin Ling delivered. Enlighter wanted to tear down the persona of Nice, but all he did was unmask the true hero within. Lin Ling hit him with a crazy headbutt. Bro was moving with nothing but adrenaline, put his entire body into those hits. And with a performance like that, how could the viewers not cheer for him? Shout out to this green girl, she was the first one to hype him up. And after that, it was raps. Bro didn't even have a power or nothing. Got that Yuji Itadori, left, right, good night. It was over. And it's kind of funny, because here we have him later, his entire gimmick is calling out heroes for fraudulence. And this entire time, he was the biggest fraud. That Moon wasn't even real. He made this entire thing up. Crazy work. But what a win for Lin Ling. Not only did he become a hero on his own volition, he stayed in the top 10. And on top of that, he got to see his girl again. What an ending, bro. Absolute cinema. Shout out to these two. I hope they enjoy a nice, happy life together. E-Soul, 9th place in the Hero Association. But before he was a quote-unquote hero, he was just Yang Chen, a kid almost murdered along with his parents if it wasn't for E-Soul, the first ever holder of the title X. Wait a minute, how can this guy be E-Soul if E-Soul is E-Soul? Hey, chill bro, we'll get there. Yang Chen is just your average teenager. A quiet kid with a job performing as his idol E-Soul at a cafe. He got a little crush named Sha-Ching, a best friend named Shang Chao, and a foster father, Uncle Rock. But despite all this, Yang Chen still has a trust value of 0. Not one person rocking with Lil Bro, that's crazy. And a funny string of events. He was invited to hang out with his crush's little brother, Pomelo, who doesn't really have a lot of friends. Kinda sad because Lil Bro is actually pretty funny.
I'm sorry, is this a performance or the news? It's not fun, it's predictable and lame!
Excuse me, what are you doing?
Interacting? It says interactive event.
Yang Chen was truly able to get E-Soul's essence down in his performances. And this really came in handy when it was time for him to lock in. You see, Yang Chen was having a pretty bad day. He lost the chance to play as E-Soul for his 34th anniversary, and to top it all off, his so-called homeboy was the judge. Granted, he didn't know that Shang Chao was there, but anyway, as I stated earlier, Yang Chen has a little crush on Sha-Ching. He even worked his ass off to give her concert tickets to her favorite artist, Lucky Cyan. But when he found out that Shang Chao gave her some tickets too, he got embarrassed and decided not to shoot his shot. Bro was depressed as hell sitting out with that garbage, and he couldn't even get a chance to talk to with Lil Bro over here before they got jumped. To this day, I don't know how they were so efficient with this. Blew his back out with a bat and he was about to hit a home run, snatched his chain and the kid. Now, you might be wondering who Thing 1 and Thing 2 are and why they're jumping our boy. They used to work at the cafe that Yang works at, and thanks to him, they actually ended up getting fired by Uncle Rock. So it makes sense why they wouldn't like him. But to jump him and that little ass kid over that doesn't make sense. But Yang Chen was not about to let that slide. He got on that Yusuke Urameshi timing and started chasing down that truck with a bike. This junk only works in anime, bro. I have never seen a cyclist move like this in my life. Yang Chen was actually moving crazy through the traffic into the cornfields. Crashed right here, I thought it was over. But this lunatic jumped off a goddamn bridge right onto the truck. The fact that nobody died from this or even got slightly injured is insane to me. Look at Yang Chen on the floor right now. He looks like he's dead. Those hooligans were genuinely frying this man though. Gave that boy a JJK jumping. Was getting cooked so bad that he got flashbacks to his parents' murder. But he knew he couldn't let that happen. Game on the line, he started moving like the actual E-Soul. Ended up inspiring Pomelo too, because for the first time in his life, his trust value went from 0 to 1. Insane that one person trusting him had him moving like this. He started moving different. Peep how he ate all these hits. Had the ops confused at his durability. Command grabbed his bum right here, then ooped him into the crazy finisher. That's how he does it. Honestly, when I first saw this, I was hella proud of Yang Chen. Bro quite literally went from 0 to hero in an instant, and all it took was one guy. Bro had 1 million likes on a post about him in one evening. That's crazy motion. And with that, Yang Chen's life changed. He now has a chance to be a real hero. Kids started coming up to him while he was working his 9 to 5 just to shake his hand. I think Uncle Rock was the real winner in all of this. Bro getting free revenue from this man. He gives me those Vander type vibes, you know what I'm saying? Chill uncle who takes care of the youngins. Love to see it. Even got Yang Chen a manager for free, which turned out to be his homeboy, Shang Chao. And with the help of him and Sha-Ching, the new E-Soul started going up. Stopping crime, hanging out with fans. He had over 500k trust value within the week. And this is where I really started feeling bad for the old E-Soul, because it's not like he's a bad guy. Dude has been doing this hero stuff for almost 35 years. He's like the LeBron James of this shit. Was a former #1 hero, and now he's just chilling. All that for some youngster to come in, rip off his image, and steal his fans. Insane work. So it was no surprise to me when he got hit with a copyright strike. But even as a YouTuber who eats stuff like this for breakfast, I can say that this is a little deserved. Funny enough, it actually ended up being Enlighter who helped save the day. He basically said that Yang Chen wasn't at fault. It was the people who put him in this position. When he's not being a D1 hater, Enlighter can actually be quite clutch. The new E-Soul was winning off the field too. His crush basically told him that she'll support him no matter what, as long as he stayed true to himself, along with not letting her wait for him. That's basically a confession if I've ever heard one. But stuff was going too well. This wouldn't be a tbhx episode if someone wasn't getting slimed out while on the way to their base. Shang Chao got stuck up. Of course, he didn't know this because he was wearing that mask to show his friends, but damn, I ain't gonna lie, I'm low-key surprised that the killer got away with this, cause bro was right there. Ain't no way Yang Chen didn't get to him. Bro must be the third E-Soul or something, because how did he get out? But with the death of his best friend and manager, E-Soul knows that he needs to lock in. Keep in mind, Shang Chao was no ordinary manager. His father, this guy over here, is an owner of a hero agency, and best believe, when he finds out who did his son dirty, he's gonna spin back. But for now, it's time for E-Soul to make his big move. Remember the two goons from earlier who tried kidnapping Pomelo? According to Enlighter, they were secretly released, and one of them looks quite familiar to Shang Chao's murderer. Riddled with anger and high off his own rage, Yang Chen believes that E-Soul somehow orchestrated this. What? How? Bro literally just been chilling this entire time. You think this is your op? He don't even know you, bruh. So he ended up challenging him to a 1v1 on his anniversary, no less. Winner takes all. Peep Sha Ching's reaction to this versus Uncle Rock's. Uncle almost looked proud while his girl is worried, and for good reason. This is where I started getting a little suspicious. The second Shang Chao died, he immediately moved into E-Soul's corner. I really love the symbolism here in this scene. One of his only friends is locked on the other side of the fence, while an outside force is pulling him deeper into the darkness. I really feel bad for E-Soul too. He had no reason to accept this whack-ass fate. He only did it because he was at risk of losing his own image. Mind you, he created E-Soul, and now this random-ass kid is stealing his entire flow.
He copied my whole fucking flow! Word for word, bar for bar!
But I knew that he would be ready to give the new E-Soul a run for his money. Actually, we ain't even calling him E-Soul no more, bruh. E-Fraud, more like it. Fraud Soul sounds even better. On the day of his anniversary, they pulled up to the arena and immediately got active. E-Soul was washing this boy though. He got that Kawhi type defense. Nothing gets past him. Fraud Soul was trying his best, but he was getting nowhere. Then he brought out that whip, and it was genuinely abusing bro, treating him like an 1860s slave. I knew Fraud Soul wasn't like that when he started throwing up them key blasts. Anytime you see an anime character spam those key blasts, bro, you know they getting cooked. But of course, an outside force had to intervene. Thanks to the help of Uncle Rock, fans online started complaining that E-Soul wasn't using his signature move, Lightning Slash, which is basically a big AoE attack that ends up draining all his stamina. If he uses it, it'll give Yang Chen an opening. And once that BS started, Fraud Soul started going crazy. Once he broke through that shield, he was putting the paws on the old man. Blocked the shard, right hook got weaved, he spun back with that upper, nigga, broke through the shield again just for E-Soul to grab him like a child and boot him away. But after that, it was up. Right hook of doom had Gramp looking crazy. Then he hit Unc with another crazy overhead into the Sendo smash. Bro about to hit a Mario jump, bro. Peep the pose. Ate another hit from Gramps into the and now he got him on the ropes. E-Soul knows he needs to use it now. That Lightning Slash. He's losing trust by the second. And Yang Chen knows this is his only chance. If he hesitates now, he will lose once again. Just like he did with Shang Chao. Yes, you heard me right. The so-called fastest hero hesitated to save his day one. Yes, hesitated. All because of jealousy. Now, I didn't mention this too much, but these three had a little love triangle going on. In fact, Sha Cheng even told this dude that Shang asked her out, but she never said yes, because obviously she liked this guy. Shang never let his feelings come between their friendship, but this dude is willing to let his best friend die just because. It really shows why he had a trust value of fucking 0. A person like Yang, a person with low self-esteem, had a tendency to self-sabotage himself and his relationships, made him oh so easy to manipulate for Uncle Rock. Or should I call him by his real name? Yeah, Mao. I really fell for this guy's act, hook, line, and sinker for the first time, bro. He was so nice, dude, but this entire time, he groomed Yang into becoming the new E-Soul. Those two goons that were fired from his shop, he blackmailed them into kidnapping Pomelo, and then again to kill Shang. And the worst part is, they did it all for nothing. Bro waited until they woke up just to bury them alive. He had 0 reason to do this, by the way. Actual heinous activity. Funny enough, his Japanese VA is also Aizen, so I should have seen the signs. And the crazy thing is, Uncle Rock's true intention is not to make E-Soul the #1 hero, but to resurrect the first hero ever, Zero. But we'll learn more about him later. In the end though, Fraud Soul was able to take the win, killing OG E-Soul and taking his trust value along with it, and in turn becoming the #9 hero. Why he killed Moon, we still don't know, But knowing good old Uncle Rock, it probably has something to do with Lin Ling. And we're gonna see more of him and Yi-Sol pretty soon. Next up, we got Lucky Cyan, ranked number 7. As her name states, this girl has been blessed since birth. She also looks like Miku, and she can sing like her too. A sole survivor of a mysterious plane crash, she happened to be found by a journalist who was on the scene. From there, she was taken to an orphanage, and when they found out about her insane luck, they turned her into a cult figurehead. Talk about suffering from success.
Roadblocks.
The only true friend that she had was someone who was her complete opposite, Luo, a boy with insanely bad luck. They became good friends, and he even helped Cyan escape the cult. From there, Cyan had to build herself up back from zero. She started busking on the street, and in no time, her trust value went up like crazy, and she even ended up getting scouted by the same journalist who saved her all those years ago. But this girl could not catch a break. When the news came out about her origins, people started thinking that she took luck from others instead of giving it. And even worse, her friend Luo found out that his parents were on the same plane that she was when they perished. But Cyan stood on business. She pulled up to the orphanage, saved her friend, and then saved her image by releasing the audio files before the plane crashed, proving that she didn't steal the luck at all. It was entrusted to her as everyone's dying wish. Real sweet. Now, the next hero I'm about to talk about, Lil Johnny, is my least favorite out of the 10. Actually, he's my second to last. Just because this nigga is so ass. He has such a cool backstory too. His father, Ah Shang, was a former ex and he was genuinely tough. Why is every other person in this show named Shang or Shang? There's gotta be the Chinese version of light skins naming their children Jaden, or Vietnamese people all having the last name of Nguyen. Nguyen. What? I deeply apologize for mispronouncing that. But after his wife died, he took his son Lil Johnny and their pet Big Johnny to live a life in the country. Now, Big Johnny isn't your average kitty cat. Ah Shang saved him from a spaceship, meaning that he's an alien. And life was good, they were living, Johnny made friends, they were having a grand old time. But tragically, the Johnnies lost their father after he was mysteriously murdered one night. At first, they thought the culprit was their current ex at the time, Vortex. He actually pulled up to their crib earlier that day, trying to bring Shang back into the game. Big Johnny ended up crashing out on him and unleashing his power. Not only is he big, but this monster is also immune to trust and fear. He beat Vortex's sorry ass into a pulp. Luckily, little Johnny was able to calm him down, and through this interaction, he was able to become a hero as an animal tamer. And I thought Lil Johnny was about to be one of them ones, bro. He even pulled up to Vortex in his own hospital room just to tell him that he got signed and that he better watch his back at the next hero tourney.
I'll get your answer soon enough. Maybe on the tournament stage.
I was like, oh yeah, talk your shit, Lil J. But nah, Vortex ended up dying in a mysterious plane crash, the same one that Lucky Cyan was in. And after that, Johnny just lost that motivation. Imagine your father was the #1 hero, one of the GOATs, and you, his son, attempt to follow in his footsteps just to become a cat boy. This nigga became a glorified TikToker. He ain't no damn hero, he's a mascot. All the while, his father's killer is roaming the streets alive and well. Whatever, bruh. On to the next. Finally, we can start talking about one of the GOATs again, Queen. She's easily one of my top 3 favorite heroes. If the word her was a person, it would be Queen. This girl went to university at the age of 12 and graduated in 2 years. 2. At age 14, I was still gooning the JJK characters while she's out here ready to join the workforce. Insane. What really shot her into the spotlight was her valedictorian speech. Yes, that's right. She was the valedictorian of a university at 14, in which she stated that she was about to turn the hero world upside down. She plans on getting rid of the trust system altogether and fixing society. Nowadays, with 3 women in the top 10, this doesn't seem all that crazy. But back then, there had only been 1 woman to claim the title of X in the past 20 years. Basically, she's the Caitlin Clark of the hero world. Her speech was so powerful that it shot up other female heroes into stardom as well, specifically Boa. She fine as hell and strong to boot. And she made her mark in the hero tournament battling Smile for the title of X. I bet you can guess who he inspired in the future. These two went crazy in this fight. Boa swung first, but Smile caught that light work no reaction, parry into the kick, had Boa in the rubble. I don't know what smiling has to do with conjuring up flames, but hey, this tough. But Boa evaded those light work, pulled up into the down slam, Smile sidesteps, Boa tries again but Smile says weave, cartwheel into another, struck a pose into the spin move evasive, backstep, weave, pose for the fans, bro out here stunning, spin move, then he goes into the wrist block, double it, palm the axe, double elbow block, and after that he was feeling himself for real, hit the Wakanda forever, but Boa didn't come to play. She popped her ult and command grabbed Big Bro into the downsling, and after some more fighting off screen, we see that she took the dub. Now, you probably see this as a win if you were watching this from the outside. I mean, 2 female heroes in the top 10, and one of them is X? But like every other corporation, these guys have their skeletons. Boa's rise to fame wasn't as simple as it seemed, and to be completely honest, if it wasn't for Queen, she wouldn't be here. Queen doesn't really care about that, but Boa obviously had a problem. She tried pressing her, and that did not end well.
Stand back.
To describe Queen's powers, imagine if Inumaki from JJK had a domain expansion and wasn't an actual fucking bum, and you get it. She can tell you to do something, and you have to do it. Personally, I wouldn't even need her to use them powers to make me do something. If Queen tells me to jump, I say, how high? If she tells me to run, I say, how far? If she tells me to bark like a dog, I say, how loud? Ain't no need for all that. Honestly, Queen probably would have gotten that X title already. She has the powers, she has the drive, the vision. Her only weakness seems to be the cuteness of Big Johnny, which is valid, but unfortunately, she had to run into this guy. Remember how I said that Queen was the personification of her? Well, this dude is the personification of him, X. Yes, you heard me right. The nigga named himself after the #1 hero title. Actually, bro didn't even have a name before he fought in this tournament. Pulled up with a chain that had the title around his neck. That's how you know he's that guy. When I heard he beat Boa, I was like, oh, alright, she good, but like, I'm not surprised that someone out there was better. But then in one snap, he proceeded to off-screen my glorious Queen. She took the crown off her head too, bruh. Oh, nah. The real question is, how is he so strong? He wasn't even known before this tournament. There's no way he could have had enough trust value for all that. So what is it? This was the first time in her life that Queen really took an L. It took 18 years of living for her to taste failure. That's crazy. And of course, she had to deal with all that BS online. This was around the same time that Loly got framed as a fraud, and people thought that Queen tried to use her luck to get to the top, which obviously wasn't true. Now, I thought that Queen took that loss pretty hard, which is true, but compared to Boa, she was taking a vacation. That woman went off the deep end like crazy. Boa's a hardworking individual. She pushes herself to the limit and doesn't give up. She literally got shot one time, almost died, and still came back to be a hero. And for some reason, she truly believes that Queen is a nepo baby and needs to be brought down. And after that loss, she completely succumbs to fear. Love how she didn't even try to get angry at X. She knew she'd get cooked. Queen did eventually get out of her depression, thanks in part to Loly's banger music. And a year later, we see her kicking ass per usual. Peep the spirit throw into the domain expansion. Damn, she's so tough. And you really gotta love her work ethic, bro. With the ranking matches were literally the next day, and she was still out here putting in that work. But y'all already know Boa's hating ass wasn't gonna let her take that day off. This pull up was tough, not gonna lie. Said some and got straight to squabbling. They start going at it. Queen gets the first strike with that kick to the face, had Boa pissed off. She got her get back real quick though. Peeped the fancy footwork into the turnaround jumper. Got my wife looking crazy. Boa just getting started though. Queen barely weaves the slash, but she snatches her with the command grab and throws her across the map into the crazy alley-oop. Used her face as a doormat, then turned that combo into another combo, wrapped her around the axe and hit her with a diabolical tombstone. This is the same joke that Sasuke did to Naruto in that part 1 fight. Even that domain expansion wasn't working. Boa is out here finding loopholes to get those hits. Queen isn't going out like that though. When Boa tries that command grab again, she says, oh nigga, blast her ass across the port. But this next combo from Boa was diabolical. Hit that clothesline of doom, made her pop that domain, faked that axe blow, came in from the side, hit a whole rotation, and stomped on her again. She loves cleaning her shoes. Roundhouse off the backboard, made her taste the J's again. Top of the key into another down slam. God damn, she frying her ass, bruh. All that damage, and she still ain't touched that face. And once my glorious Queen locked in, it was raps. Popped her ult and hit her with the spear of doom. Landed in the same exact place that she got shot last time too. That's crazy. Unfortunately, due to injuries, she was not able to compete in the next hero tourney, which is a good thing because X would have put belt to ass back to back. But it was really nice to see that she could find comfort in her friends. She seems so much older, but in reality, she's barely 18. It's good that she can let down her guard every now and then. And don't worry, we're gonna see more of her pretty soon. Now next up, we got Loly, and I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. I do not care about her. First off, her name stinks, and second off, she's kind of annoying. Her whole gimmick is like being cute, which kind of sucks because she's genuinely tough. She's like 5 foot 100 pounds, ripping lat pull downs, double her weight. That's insane. But I guess she's so cute that niggas don't believe she can do all this. Like, okay. She says that she hates when people see her as too cute to be strong, but then she runs around in a cute bunny suit fighting crime. If she really wanted to fool niggas, she'd pull up in a suit looking like Optimus Prime, bruh. The fact that she's ranked above Ling Ling is a crime. We'll see her throw hands later, so that's cool, but she's low-key mad. Moving on. This next story starts off with a man getting walked down by Prime Vaughn. We've already seen this man before. Little Johnny's dad.
But your father's dead.
And former hero X, shame. But the man taking him out is Ghostblade, the number 4 hero. Ghostblade probably has my third favorite story besides Ling Ling and Yi Soul. He reminds me heavy of my boy Killer 7. And in some ways, they're pretty alike. Ghostblade has an antisocial disorder. He hates talking and hearing people talk, which is valid. But he was so nonchalant to the point that he got famous for it. And because of this, he was rendered mute by the trust system. And when he was given a chance to leave and become an assassin, he took the coolest name you could think of and never looked back. He killed hundreds of people, not even caring if they were innocent or not. In his eyes, they were all the same. Keep in mind, he's working for Uncle Rock. Someone like him who is trustworthy and listens to instructions is perfect for that line of work. Ghostblade stated that everyone feels lonely, but it's the unreachable feeling of solitude that stings the most. So imagine how he felt when he met his perfect match. A girl that was even more nonchalant than he was. He met her while he was getting used as a hostage. She never even looked up from her phone the entire time. Even after he killed the criminal, and 176 days later, they got married. She even texted "I do" on the phone, bro. But nothing in life stays the same. The first time Ghostblade ever saw his wife put down her phone was when they found out that she was pregnant. Wait, does this mean that she was using the phone the entire time Ghostblade was hitting it? Anyway, I thought it was nice that his wife changed and wanted to be a mother. But when she said that she wanted to move in with her parents and enjoy the company, Ghostblade started to have a breakdown. All that noise, all the people talking and invading his space, I can't even be mad at him for this. I'm more surprised that his wife didn't see how this was affecting him. Like, y'all been together for a minute now, and you still don't understand how he feels? Crazy. Even though he was technically out of his daughter's life, that never stopped him from keeping an eye on her. In a way, even though he didn't realize it, Ghostblade started to change too. Before, he wasn't really aware of emotions or how to perceive them, but thanks to his daughter, he started to understand. Now, was he perfect? Hell nah. Bro was out here moving like a stalker on his own daughter. I want y'all to take a look at this shady figure over here. You would think that this is fucking Bonnie or like an animatronic, but nah. This is Loly's sweet as candy looking ass. And I know I'll be hating on Loly, but she can low-key squabble. Look, peep these moves real quick. But when Ghostblade realized that he was throwing hands with one of his daughter's friends, he retreated. At the end of the day, he still didn't really understand his daughter's feelings. So he decided to immerse himself in her favorites, food, music, but none of that would truly be able to convey how much he loved her without being able to speak. Really shows how we can take the simplest things for granted. But unexpectedly, a chance to meet his daughter came in the form of a mission. Nuno works at a research facility called Glimmer Labs. When they were sent to research an abandoned spacecraft, the same one that Big Johnny came from, mind you, Ghostblade, Little Johnny, and Loly were sent along to help out. Keep in mind that this crash site is very important, as it's the only place with substances that are immune to fear and trust. In fact, the reason why this mission was greenlighted was because the commission wanted a way to end the trust system. When trust was first discovered and heroes became reality, the first hero ever was a man named Zero. He racked up so much trust that he became a god of some sorts. But when Zero became corrupted by fear, he almost ended up destroying the entire world. It was only thanks to the OG Esol. Actually, I'm not gonna say OG. Esol, he the only one that the world survived. Crazy how this dude stopped the Satan of the tbhx world, became the first ever X, was a hero for 36 years, and still got his chain snatched by that bum. We also find out that X is getting pretty close to that Zero status, and the commission is not liking that at all. Anyway, back to Ghostblade and the game. The poor guy was genuinely in hell. First, he had to listen to all that yap by Little Johnny. Had him so mad that he actually wanted to speak.
And I find myself desperate for speech to curse out a cat boy.
Then second, Loly decided to pull up. She might be the most annoying quote-unquote hero I've ever seen. Damn near crashed the whip. I feel so bad for Ghostblade though. Everyone got together to address the allegations, but they had it all wrong. Little Johnny and Loly's father were trying to set up plays so he could make a move like, oh man, that is his daughter. He ain't trying to hit. Dinner that night wasn't any better. Y'all know that one meme where Pickle is all like, hey Krillin, Is that your Bugatti outside? Oh, it's no big deal. Imagine Loly's dad as Piccolo, Ghostblade as Krillin, and Loly annoying ass as Gohan, out here selling the bag. But during dinner, a mysterious fog rolled in, one that made everyone start crying. The only one who realized that something was wrong was Ghostblade, as he never shows emotion. The source ended up being this guy, DJ Shindig. He was a former ex, but after falling from the spotlight, he resorted to using fear, and now he's here. Ghostblade did his ass crazy. Was armed with nothing but a bread knife, and he still sliced that boy to bits. There's a reason why he's in the top 5. After defeating Shindig, the fog lifted. Before leaving the fight, Ghostblade ended up giving Nono his coat. This led to her seeing his notebook and realizing that Ghostblade was her father. Finally, bruh! Of course, she didn't say anything about it, but I will be waiting in earnest for the days that she acknowledges him. But now, it's time for what we've been waiting for, the Ruins incident. This is where everyone's paths converged. What seemed like a normal reconnaissance mission turned into an all-out brawl when these two pulled up. You see, originally, Uncle Rock wanted Ghostblade to take out Little Johnny. Basically lied to bro and said Big Johnny was an evil demon that needed to be stopped. Like, alright bro. In fact, Ghostblade was pretty close to finishing the job, but Little Johnny didn't even notice. But behind his back, he told E-Soul to get rid of the Ghostblade as well, killing 2 birds with 1 stone and making it easier for him to get to the top spot. Ghostblade was getting worked in this fight, I can't even lie, and having to defend Little Johnny on top of that did not help. I keep telling y'all that boy's sorry as hell. Got the man who slimed out your father and almost you, saving your life. Lock in. But E-Soul wasn't the only surprise that night, as we see none other than Nice pull up to the function. But I knew something was off. That smile got no niceness behind it. Bro got nothing but evil intentions under that grin.
They'll be in danger soon.
What's happening? Where is this danger?
It's right here. I'll kill them after I kill you.
God damn! As we all know, Nice's perfection was a facade. What you might not know is that that facade was created by fear, thanks to Nice's manager at the time. I am very grateful that Lin Lane did not have to work with this demon. He knew that the Hero Commission was getting close to erasing fear and trust as well, so he was sent over there to kill them, all to save his persona. And these niggas got absolutely fried. Nice was cooking Loly low-key. I know he didn't just hit her with that Broly wall grab. Loly was able to hold him off long enough for her father and Nuno to escape, but when she went back to check on them, she saw her dad get slimed out. Meanwhile, the Johnnies were getting toasted. Nice came back in and started fighting again. Then Big Johnny went into his demon mode and all hell broke loose. I thought everyone was about to die for real. But then, the GOAT herself had to pull up and end this madness. My beautiful wife, Queen. She was sent by her agency on a quote-unquote vacation in this area along with Cheyenne. And when she saw Johnny go berserk, she knew she had to step in. Pop that domain expansion and everyone stopped moving. That stare down she hit on Nice was mean as hell. I know he was fuming. E-Soul lame ass got bitched too. But thanks to her and Cyan, they're able to save everyone. It's crazy how big the gap is between the top 2 heroes and everyone else. This incident ended up being so big that the Heroes Tourney that year was cancelled, meaning that X got his 3-peat as the #1 hero. That boy stayed aura farming. Can't blame him. If I could change the animation like he could, I would too. It also led to Ghostblade leaving Uncle Rock's group and Little Johnny becoming a top 5 hero. What the fuck did this bum do to enter the top 5? Bro was out here getting straight cardio. Little Johnny fooling y'all, man. He just running around doing nothing. Him and Big Johnny are like Kwame Brown and Kobe Bryant. His ass is not helping. Loly made the top 10 too, but that was more deserved in my opinion. Like, that girl was throwing hands. But anyway, on to the next. Dragon Boy Deadass has the funniest sad backstory I've ever seen. This dude was like 10 years old, swimming through ice cold water for the love of the game. His idea of fun was letting random people jujutsu jump him and then beating their ass afterwards. Uncle Rock got that Viscera level scouting because when he found him, he knew that he could mold him into the perfect vessel he needed for Zero. You see, past Zero went crazy because of fear, but if a hero was able to resist it, like Dragon Boy, they wouldn't go crazy like he did. Rock and Dragon Boy's relationship is a whole lot different than E-Soul's. They work like partners more than anything. He doesn't have to lie and manipulate events to get him to do something because Dragon Boy always wants the smoke. When Rock told him to get rid of the top 10 hero Smile so he could boost his ranking, he wasted no time. But there's another person who wants Smile gone. Someone that you might not expect. Yup, our boy Nice once again. Now, you may be wondering, why would Nice want to take out his idol? And you could probably answer that yourself. Shang's manipulation. You see, Shang had figured out that Rock was behind his son's murder. and now he needs to get Nice into the top 10 so he can kill E Soul. He doesn't care about Nice or his aspirations to be a hero. He just wants his biggest op gone. And Nice can't do anything about it either. Without Shang, he is nothing. Bro is quite literally grooming him as we speak. And I really feel bad because Smile is such a chill guy. Bro's been a top 10 hero for over a decade and he just wants to help people out. He's even cool with X, as we can see him in his base form. Quite different than that all white suit. He was really out here tucking the #1 hero into bed. But Dragon Boy did not care. He pulled up on Smile and showed him his daughter's circle chain. Oh nah. Then he absolutely ate that right hook. And then when bro picked him up, he put the chain back on Smile's neck. Damn. Smile didn't take that disrespect lightly though. TSB uppercut into the left right goodnight on that Yuji tamer. Then he boomed him with a devious down slam. Dragon Boy stressed now. Unk most definitely getting his get back. Pulled up, Dragon Boy blocks the hook. Elbow block with the left, but you know he heard it. Weaves the right. And after this block, he was feeling himself talking shit, but Smile hit him with that. And he sent bro blasting off again. Smile started violating right, left, right again. Then in the same motion, kicked bro into the spin cycle. Dragon Boy pissed now, but that right was weak as hell. Left got bitched. Smile hit him with that block break. One, left straight, pump fake with the right kick into the knee. Double right jab, Dragon Boy weave, but Smile hit a into the right. Then he told his ass we ain't done. Grabbed the nigga again, body slammed him into the concrete, kicked him to the curb, and walloped him with those consecutive punches. But Dragon Boy ain't done yet. If you haven't guessed, his power comes from taking damage on some Meliodas timing. And now it's time for that full counter. I thought Unk might be cooked, but he ate that light work. But just when it seemed like round 2 was about to begin, Nice pulls up. This dude comes in at the worst times possible, bro. And this time, he brought a vial of fear. He was supposed to use it against whoever won the fight, but both of his sides were fighting against each other. Would he really kill his hero in order to make it to the top? It didn't help that Dragon Boy was literally instigating him, telling him to slime his ass out. Bro doesn't even care about making the top 10, he just wants to see the world burn. In the end, Nice did choose to save his hero and stab Dragon Boy. But like I said earlier, he got those Meliodas powers. When he spit that fear back in Smile's face, it was all over. He immediately went after Nice, but that boy can move, peep these blocks, weaved all those heavy attacks, parried the key blast too, before Smile came in from behind. Dragon Boy thought this shit was sweet. Smile took one look at him, and he tried walking away. Look at the whistling, bruh. Bro thinks we can't see him. Smile put him in an absolute blender. Gut check into the overhead, bounce bro into the water. Dragon Boy weaves the key blast, parries the last, pulls up again into the 1-2. That shit too easy for Smile. Threw him off into the uppercut, had him floating so high, he was looking like Gojo. Smile pulls up again, block, 1-2 down slam. Then he comes in with this absolute nuke for a finisher. Bro is out here stomping this man on live TV. But unfortunately, this is where Smile's story ends. While attempting to choke out Dragon Boy, this dude hits a mega lock-in. Started getting flashbacks to his parents torturing him. What type of training was bro going through? Who is he training to fight, bruh? Sukuna? Absolute Bane? This is insane. He snapped out of that grab, charged up his punch, and quite literally erased Smile from existence. So undeserved, bro. Smile was literally the chillest guy ever. Now, not gonna lie, I thought Nice was cooked. Like, his idol just got Batista bombed in front of his own eyes, and he going up against the future top 3 hero, juiced up on fear. But he's about to prove that he can hang with the big boys. Readied up and struck first with that left. Dragon Boy ate that, struck back with his own, then they start going at it for real. Nice comes in, gets a 1-2, gets blocked, but his weed game's still efficient. That boy cannot be touched. These blocks lead too. Had to step back to take a reset, down low for the dodge, and they get back at it again. Simultaneous spin moves, double elbow block from Nice into another weave, wrist block into another elbow block, making great use of those limbs into an elbow check. Smooth moves, but Dragon Boy still on that timing. But peep Nice's face when he pulled up. That boy is locked in. They trade parries before Nice goes on the offensive. 2 straights and a kick, but that's not enough. Dragon Boy takes possession. Nice is evading, but he's still getting pushed. Ace that roundhouse, nigga. Nice bounces back and they clash again, but he's starting to feel it now. Dragon Boy's throwing hands with a smile on his face. That 360 backhand was mean work. Nice not done though. Flash that's behind, giving him back shots, then weaves the left into a body blow. And yeah, that joke was clean, but it did not work. Dragon Boy ate that shit, body slammed that nigga into the ground, and charges up that finisher. It's Nice, finally finished. Look who finally decided to show up. The GOAT X himself. And he went crazy, bruh. Hopped out the building like it was nothing. Nice probably took notes seeing this, and y'all just gotta see these impact frames, bro. This is too clean. Now, when I tell you that Dragon Boy got folded in this fight, you might think, oh, he just got his ass beat. No, bruh. I mean that this guy literally got folded like laundry. Do you know how strong you gotta be to literally fold a nigga in a fight? Like, literally? Dragon Boy's a top 3 hero, by the way. Insane work. Look at his face when he realized how he just got done. Bro, sick to his stomach. But still, even though they technically won, the loss of Smile was a big hit. Even in death, he was still smiling. Poor Nice, bro. Like, he's gone through so much, and now he's even lost his idol. And you best believe X is gonna spin back on the niggas who made this happen. We're staring the camera straight in the face. Next up, we have Ahu. I find this story interesting because while one hero was born, another died. It's so ironic because out of all the stories, Ahu has the happiest ending. Ahu was a circus dog who hated his job. He ended up getting fired after biting a kid, and he got sent to a pet store where he met Xenia. Thanks to her, Ahu learned to be happy again. Xenia truly believed that Ahu could be a hero, and while Ahu didn't care too much, he went along with her antics just to please her. Now, you might be wondering how Nice comes into all of this. Well, Xenia's home was going to be bought out by the Treeman Hero Corporation, so they brought Nice to get people to sign the contracts. Xenia didn't want that to happen, so she ended up finding the contracts and taking them back. But when they got cornered by Phobia Clone, Nice ended up coming in. And I thought bro was about to save the day, but nah, this guy was willing to let an elementary schooler and a damn dog die just to get his way. But this is where Ahu locked in. He was defending Xenia with his life. And with the game on the line, he swung that axe right back at Phobia Clone and murked him. This ended up getting some fear on Nice as well, and you know how he is when it comes to blemishes. He thought he was infected, ran back to his manager, but Shang was already done with him. He broke the news to him that Ahu ended up becoming the number 8 hero after saving Xenia, meaning that bro got outranked by a dog. Oh man, you know that had to hurt. Sure, Esol was under him too, but like a dog? That's crazy work, brother. Nice starts tweaking out, wondering why he's going through all this, why he even became a hero in the first place, and then with a snap, we see he's on top of a building. The same building where Lin Ling was. And now we have come full circle. Finally, we have made it to the final episode. Now, this is an episode I've been waiting for a long time, and man, it did not disappoint. It was kind of cool to see that X is really just a normal dude, working an office job, counting down the seconds until the shift was finally over. Funny as hell that his coworkers were literally talking about him and they don't even know it. Even with his powers, he still takes the train, walks, and does like normal human things. Compared to the other heroes, he actually lives a pretty private life. No family, no work friends outside of Smile, which is really sad because now he's gone. Still gave him a spot at the table though, W-Mans. But tonight is different. As we know, the commission wants X gone. And after finding out his true identity, there was no better time to get rid of him than right before the hero tournament. Originally, they were gonna have the heroes jump him at the tourney, but Ahu stepped up and decided to go after him on his own. But he should have thought twice though. One snap, and X had that boy in his own crib. Bro was a good 2 blocks away, and he still got thrown down here, bro. X is insane. After some questioning, X realizes that Ahu isn't here to kill him, but to warn him about the commission's plans. But X isn't worried. In fact, he's more than good. Not even threatened by the fact that they know who he is. And when the commission's bots pulled up to the crib, he was on that timing. He snaps, goes up and over into the kick, then another wrist block, slap away, then another double block before hitting a spin move into the snap. Throws them into the wall, then snaps him back to reality. Bro's kid is insane. Then he proceeds to walk through his own walls, out the door, bodies all these niggas while walking up the stairs. Snaps again, hits an entire domain expansion, before Megami by the way, then snaps himself outside his crib.
What the fuck is going on?
Dude just had his home raided by the feds, and he's out here getting a drink from a vending machine. Absolute maniac. But the commission's not done. Choji pulls up trying to get a hit in, but X teleports him into a wall. Snaps out to pick up his coin, snaps back in, heads out, and Thing 1 and Thing 2 over here pull up to run it. They try that one move that Maki hit with Yuji, but X snaps over the kick, boots away Ahu, weaves the down slam just to snap right back in his face. Blue Boy comes in over the top, X parries, fixes his own fade, mid-fade, while he got his hand in his pocket. Another parry, spin move, weave, then kick the top hat off his head. Smooth recovery by Blue Boy though, he made sure to hold on to it.
Respect.
X really moving like me in my dreams if I could control them. Hands in his pockets too, bro. He just too clean with it. And that snap was hella smooth. They continue to chase after him. Rock sends a couple of his own boys joining on the fun, but X is just too smooth, bro. Weave the down slam, flipped over dog in hand. Then he hit this hella elegant evasive. Up and over, then mid-air, he dodges into the ground. Mind you, they're out here running full speed, while this guy hasn't gone faster than a brisk walk. Bro ain't even trying to dodge. They even said this guy who could enter that X domain had bro impressed low key, but X is on another level. Gets on that David Martinez timing for the sidestep.
I miss him.
They snap for the evasive, and when these bums pulled up again, I kid you not, bro yawned, weaves, let Shadow Boy hits his own teammates, starts floating midair while evading everyone, kicked this guy into his own duo.
I'm tired of this fat fuck.
And then this move right here was nasty. This E-Soul clone tried throwing this beam slash. X dodged it, snapped back his own soda, had to make sure they didn't touch it, threw it over, snapped it into a weapon, and knocked Shadow Boy and the other goons out.
You, Cal!
Then these two tried coming in again, but Ahu was on that. Damn, I know that had to hurt. Even X was shocked. The commission starts sending more goons, but that ain't no problem. X teleports them on top of the building, lets Ahu deal with the leftovers. Then when more pull up, he spots a car in a billboard and literally snaps it into reality. Bro was out here whooping that shit like Dom Toretto. Family. He really got 5 stars like this GTA. Even while driving, they couldn't touch this guy. Then when it seemed like he was cornered, bro got out the car, used a coin to block a key blast, and pulled up to the bar like it was nothing, bro. He just too clean, bro. He's too clean. This next play he did right here was diabolical as well. When I saw the heroes pull up like this, I thought they meant business, but this man X threw a single coin at the vending machine, and while not moving a single muscle, let these guys make fools of themselves and picked up his drink like nothing happened. Go activities, but X is done playing around. It's time for Ahu to see the truth about this world. As he pops his LK domain expansion, another one before Megami by the way, he starts explaining the origins of the hero commission, Zero's rise and fall, and how they think that he'll be the next one. But what they fail to realize is that X can't become the next Zero if the first Zero never died. While trust has grown over time, so has fear, leading to a domino effect that sent everyone straight into each other's worlds. Pawns guided by the hand of fate, and X is about to defy it. We then see the top 10 heroes of this next hero tourney. Our boy Lin Ling, Lucky Cyan, who's looking creepy as hell, I can't even lie. This is the version who's keeping Luo in her basement. Then we have Lil Johnny, Ghostblade, Dragon Boy, My Glorious Queen, and wait a minute, is that Nice? How is he alive? I saw that boy fall to his death with my own 2 eyes, bro. There's no way, bro. Lin Ling saw this and immediately locked in like bro wasn't even phased. My stocks are on him, I can't even lie. And finally, we have X, who pulls up in his regular form, showing the commission that he doesn't care that his identity was leaked. Now, you might be wondering, where is Fraud Soul? Shouldn't he be in the top 10? Well, it turns out that this dude was so buns, he got kicked out the top 10. Bro is even lower than a dog now, that's crazy. But yeah, that's it for 2bhx Season 1. Definitely my favorite for anime of the year, and it's way too damn slept on. Shout out to Mr. Cake Dragonman for helping me edit this, and you best believe I'll be back here in 2026 for Season 2. But yeah, that's it. Thank y'all for watching. I love you. Goodbye.